All right. Hello, everybody. I am Lori Duff. I am the author of the Fisher at Law series, and I am here today on Beer, Bestie, and Banish. And we are talking to Bobby Nash. He is a very prolific author, but today we're going to be talking about his Snow series, Volume 1, uh, Series 1, Volume 1 specifically. And we are going to be talking about who he wants to have a beer with, who he would make his bestie, and who he would banish if he had the chance. So before we get into it, to give people who are watching some context, tell us a little bit about the Snow series.
It's an action adventure series, crime fiction. He's a do-gooder. I tell people this is my love letter to cop and PI books and shows from the 70s and 80s. It's got that kind of vibe. Although it's set modern day, we play to a lot of those tropes. So if you're a fan of things like Magnum PI or the Rockford Files, you kind of get where this is coming from.
I've read some of them. I haven't read all of them because nobody can read as fast as you can write. I'll say that. But they're a lot of fun. They're just fun and
Yep.
pulpy and great adventures.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
so
very
let's
very
start.
character driven. Yes, very
Yes,
character driven.
they are.
So
They are.
this is the cover, by the way.
Awesome. Okay. So, who would you have a beer with?
I would have a beer with Archer Snow. Archer is Abraham Snow is our main character. Archer is his grandfather, who surprisingly has become like the fan favorite. Like I get letters all the time that says, "Do nothing to hurt that character," which of course makes me put him in danger all the time. This is a picture of Archer as designed by Jeffrey Hayes, my cover illustrator.
Oh,
So
fantastic.
Archer's the coolest. He's just the coolest cat. Yeah, he would be the one to have a beer with.
How old is he? He's the grandfather, but is
Yeah, he's in his 70s, early
okay.
70s maybe. Yeah, yeah.
He's not too
But
old.
no, but still out there, still doing it, still um, to keep that kind of 70s and whatever vibe. He's kind of like imagine it like these days, like a Gerald McRaney type or a Lee Majors type, that kind of guy,
And
gruff and
that's
toned.
another fun game to play is who would you cast in the movie? So,
Yeah, yeah.
you know that too. All right. And who would be your bestie?
The bestie would be Little John, or sorry, Big John Salmon, who is Abraham Snow's best buddy. They grew up together. Snow leaves for a while, and Big John gets in a little trouble, ends up in jail for a while. But he is a master mechanic, but he can drive anything. This is him here. So he is Snow's best buddy. And yeah, he's the one that's always, whatever Snow says I need help, he's there. And so yeah, he would be he's like the most loyal of the characters.
We all need one of those.
Yes.
And who would you banish?
Probably the least likable of the main characters in the Snow series is Snow's dad, Dominic. He and Snow don't get along. They don't like each other. He is a very stern guy. And I have not gone out of my way to make him likable in the books. So I think if one had to go, it would probably be him. But if it happened, I would make him likable first, then do it. But yeah, I don't have a photo, a illustration of him handy, but yes, he would probably be the one to go.
You'd pick him over the bad guys?
Well, no, if I'm picking bad guys, yeah, Daniela Cordoza is pretty evil. She would probably, yeah, getting hurt. Although she's so much fun to write, so the writer in me doesn't want to get rid of her, which is why she survives the final act of her story. But yeah, it's I've killed off a few villains, but yeah, so I could banish her. Yeah, that makes Snow's life a whole lot easier.
So you have a female bad guy.
I do. And she was not intended. This is kind of a spoiler for those who haven't read it, I guess, but she is not the main villain when it starts. but she is such a good character, she becomes the main villain by doing things,
Hmm.
doing villainous things. But she's one of those characters that just, I'm sure you've got them too, that just won't go away.
Hmm.
They remind you they're there all the time, and that's Daniela, and she took over. She basically took over the villain and made the story better. She was a better villain than the original villain. So yeah,
Those characters
that's a lot.
are the most fun to write. I have one of
Yeah,
those. The coach in my first book
Coach.
was so much fun to write that he had to come back in the
Mhm.
second because I just
And
couldn't let him go.
and he's the kind of guy you want to just punch in the nose
Yeah.
because he's, but yeah, but there's underlying all it, there's just a little bit of charm
Hmm.
that makes you as deplorable as he could be at times, or as Danielle could be. There's something about him you like, but you just don't know what, it's hard to quite put your finger on it. But yeah, but no, I agree with it because I was excited in reading your second book when the coach came back. Because I was not expecting that. I figured,
Hmm.
oh, he's done. We got rid of that story. So it was nice to see him come back and see him interact when he's not her client. So I thought that was interesting.
Same with Daniela. She's
Yeah, she's cool. Yeah. But I love it when those characters do that. You get them every once in a while that just will not leave you alone. And I've had a few of those.
they're good.
Hmm.
All right. Well, thanks for playing the game. Everybody,
My
read the
pleasure.
Snow series, read all of the other books. You can see them on the posters behind Bobby's head. No, he didn't write Jaws, but he did write the
Now
rest of them.
I've seen it enough. I could probably write it from memory.
And we'll put the link up on the screen. And thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you next time.